A student speaks out after the arrest of a student charged with unlawful surveillance.
And students lead legal cases at a new immigration law center. All that and more on Panther Report News. Hello and welcome to Panther Report News. I'm Maya Grant.
And I'm Keelan Berrien. The Georgia State University Police Department arrests student involved in multiple cases of unlawful surveillance at university restrooms. PRN Kevin Sanchez had the latest developments, including charges the student will face.
But I feel like I'm still not kind of believing that it really happened to me, just because you hear about those things all the time, but you never really think it could happen to you.
On Wednesday evening, the Georgia State University Police Department arrested Donnie Takira, a student at the university, after multiple reports of unlawful surveillance inside campus restrooms. Now, a Georgia State student who asked to not be identified speaks out after reporting the incident.
I even said, I was like, wow, you're not even safe at school. Obviously Georgia State does all that it can to, make it a safer environment for students, but at the end of the day, always be on the lookout and always be aware of your surroundings, because anything can happen at any time.
The incident took place on Monday, but by Tuesday, the police department had 3 reports linked to their suspect. GSUPD Major Anthony Coleman says the arrest came a day later when police located Takira in the hallways of Classroom South.
Just based on complaints that we had, and we followed up on the complaints, and were able to track the individual. Once we tracked the individual, we located him and we made the arrest.
And for those affected, it brought relief.
Every now and then I would refresh the news report just to see the updates. And finding out that he got arrested was I was very happy and relieved. And it definitely brought closure to the situation, knowing that he's charged and he'll be in jail and just away from the public.
Takira is now charged with 1 count of public indecency and 2 counts of unlawful surveillance. The police department says further disciplinary action for Takira will be decided by the Dean of Students.
I'm kind of in disbelief, but I have kind of accepted it, and I'm really, really glad that he got caught.
And the police department advises students to stay aware of their surroundings.
It's one of those things, a crime was perpetrated by a student, and we just ask that everybody just be aware of their surroundings and make sure that, you just pay attention, pay attention to what's going on around you.
Kevin Sanchez, PRN.
Georgia State inches closer to the opening of its Greenway. Images released by the university shows the proposed entry to Library North and the staircase leading to the Langdale Plaza. Take a look at this projected timeline. Starting late February, construction crews are set to begin building 2 new stairs. Landscaping for the green space is expected to start late March, and by late May, the university hopes to open a section of the walkway.
The Georgia Senate passes a bill limiting high school students by the number of dual enrollment courses. High school upperclassmen will be allowed to take up to 15 credit hours a semester, and those who wish to take more courses will have to pay for them.
Now it's time to turn to Crystal White for the latest updates on Georgia State sports.
Thanks, Maya. How's it going, everyone? My name is Crystal White, and welcome to PRN Sports. Today we'll talk about the Stars softball and the opening of a new financial literacy center at Georgia State. But first, PRN reporter Terry Gwynn was on location at the 2020 NFL Pro Bowl. While there, he was able to speak with Georgia State graduate and first program Pro Bowler Will Lutz. Take a look.
It's an honor. It's my first time, and I'd be lying if I say I never envisioned this happening, but I really never expected to actually come to fruition. So, it's another step in the journey, and it's just an honor.
After starting its season 1-1, the Georgia State's women's tennis team looks to make noise this season. 2 years removed from being that coveted top spot, the Panthers are wanting to make it back. PRN's Keelan Berrien spoke to Georgia State women's tennis head coach Alex Latu about her goals for the season and expectations for the team.
Did you know that every string inside tennis rackets such as this one used to be made out of cow guts for its strength and elasticity? Well, just like Alex Latu, her elasticity in the sport makes her very versatile. Starting as an assistant coach, she begins her 2nd year as the head coach for the women's tennis team.
Being committed to yourself on a daily basis can help you reach any goal.
Alex's tennis career has brought her many great things, playing at Vanderbilt University, where she was named the SEC All-Tournament team, and Baylor University, where she became a 3-time Big 12 Conference champion. Then, she was the head women's tennis coach at the University of New Haven, and now the women's head coach for Georgia State University. Never having a bad practice is motivation to always try hard. Even seeing a small percentage of improvement is enough motivation to keep moving forward.
What motivates me is the process. When I go to practice every day and I see the girls have just 1% more of growth, that's exciting for me. And I never look at results as, affecting my mood or what's going to come next. I really think about what the good things that came out of the last match are, or the last practice.
The women's tennis team is facing Auburn on Saturday with more energy to bring to the match.
Auburn's going to be a great test for us. I think the girls love rising to the occasion, and that's what happened at Baylor as well. Obviously, we didn't get the result that we wanted, but we took a lot of great things from that match, experience-wise. For 5 freshmen coming into that match with no experience with a dual match, it was great for them to come out, see what kind of energy they need to bring each and every match. And I think that was reflected in the next day against McNeese State.
Keelan Berrien, PRN.
It is officially only 1 week until the Georgia State softball team kicks off its season against Fresno State in the USF Tourney. The past few seasons may have not gone the way the Panthers might have hoped for, but head coach Roger Kincaid has faith in his team. I was able to sit down with the longtime head coach. Take a look. Next week, the softball team will start their season against Fresno State in USF Tourney in Tampa, Florida. Head coach Roger Kincaid gives me a preview to what to expect from the team this season.
Well, we got 7 new freshmen. We got 2 transfers that have come in, so we got some new personnel. So we're excited about that. Whenever you have new people, you have a new start, different chemistry, the whole 9 yards. And of course, we haven't played any games yet, so we're hoping for good results.
The team will face early challenges in the USF Tourney against Fresno State, Michigan, Illinois State, USF, and Florida.
Well, we're playing some really good competition. It's going to be a tough tournament. I mean, there's some good teams. So I think it's a good test for us to see, what we've worked on, what do we need to work on, what do we need to improve on, how we stack up, really and truly, because if you can compete with those teams, you should be able to do well in the Sun Belt.
The team will play in-state competition throughout the season. Head coach Kincaid talks about the level of competition in the state of Georgia.
But the state of softball in the state of Georgia is really good. I mean, there's a lot of good players. There's a lot of good recruits that come out of the state of Georgia. And, it's fun to play those kind of schools because our kids grew up with some of those other kids.
With a team full of new faces, head coach Kincaid talks about the level of responsibility the seniors have.
Well, you always want your seniors to be the leaders of your team. It doesn't always happen that way. You hope that it does. The biggest thing that I want them to do is lead themselves first. And that way, if they can lead themselves, then they can be a good example for the rest of the team.
Crystal White, PR. If learning about comparison shopping, credit worthiness, and diversification is your thing, then Georgia State's Athletic New Regions Next Step program is your place to be. Here's Georgia State student athlete will be able to learn about finance through monthly seminars and workshops provided by Regions Bank inside the Georgia State Stadium.
We believe that if you are financially literate, you are financially empowered. And if we can get you up to speed on how to manage money, how to make money, how to manage it, how to keep it, and then how to invest it, we have a better community. You have a better college community, an educational community, and you have a better community in which to live once you graduate and move on into regular life.
After a donation of $10,000 by the company in 2018, the space is ready to open and become the first center of its kind in the Sun Belt Conference.
So we started a partnership with Georgia State University student athletes in 2016, holding 1 class a year for the Summer Bridge program. And in 2018, we expanded our partnership by funding the renovation of this space to provide an ongoing classroom to deliver financial education for all of the student athletes here at Georgia State.
It comes with a heavy heart to touch on the news that broke earlier this week about the passing of NBA legend Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and 7 others that all lost their lives in a helicopter crash in Southern California. The loss of the 5-time NBA champion has rippled across the world, with so many seemingly touched by the work and spirit of the NBA great. We spoke with members of the Georgia State men's basketball team to talk about the legacy of Kobe Bryant and his impact on their own love of the game.
Yeah, Kobe was my favorite player ever. So it was pretty tough when I heard the news. It kind of got to me real bad, and I'm just praying for his family and stuff like that, and especially his daughter. That's real tough as well. So
I looked up to Kobe. You know, I still got a fat head poster in my room. You know, he was just my favorite player. He still is my favorite player all time.
That's all we got for you here on PRN Sports. Be sure to follow us on social media at GSUPRN for the latest updates and analysis. Back to you, Maya.
Thank you, Crystal. A Fire Campus Fellowship hosts Cafe Convo, Discovering Who You Are. The night follows a rhythm of spoken words, monologues, and dramatizations. A Fire president, Jamarcus Wise, says Cafe Convo serves as a safe space for artists to express themselves freely.
It's important to have because the students are given a space where they can really showcase their identity and not be judged, where they can enter into a space where it's a loving family, it's a loving environment where they learn, their identity, and also be taught Bible principles and really just meet other people of the same faith or even different faith.
The university is introducing an immigration law clinic at the College of Law. The new clinic will offer accessible representation for immigrants across Georgia facing deportation. This week, I spoke with the clinic about how students are leading their cases.
Our clinic is here to provide them with the opportunity to at least have the chance to prove their case in front of an immigration judge.
This spring, Georgia State University debuts their immigration clinic at the College of Law to represent those facing deportation. Under the direction of Emily Torsveit-Nagata, graduate students represent individuals in cases whom are seeking asylum.
Dual purpose is to also provide a valuable service to the community for indigent non-citizens who are in removal proceedings and who may otherwise not be able to secure legal representation.
And in many cases, immigrants don't have an attorney.
There are a tremendous number of people in immigration court who do not have an attorney at all. Okay. They're appearing pro se, so they're representing themselves.
And the immigration law clinic helps give experience to students like Catalina Ortiz, who also knows at firsthand what it's like.
So I actually have been interested because of a personal experience. I immigrated to the U.S. when I was 13, and once I was able to change my status and able to have my green card, I wanted to help others achieve that.
This allows Ortiz to oversee the process.
Student attorneys under the supervision of our supervisory clinic attorney. We have to do interviews, we have to build the case, we have to do the research. We may have to appear in court. We're really hands-on. We're acting as this client's attorney.
The clinic is now representing about 12 clients that are facing immigration and hope to continue to grow in due time. Keelan Berrien, PRN. Around this time 2 years ago, the Smithsonian's National Portrait Gallery released the official portraits of former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama. These pictures have grown famous in the public eye and will be taken on a 5-city tour around the country.
Those portraits are amazing. What are the cities?
The art will be coming to a museum in Chicago, Brooklyn, Los Angeles, Houston, and drumroll, Atlanta.
All right, really?
Yes, but it will have to be worth the wait because these iconic portraits aren't expected to arrive here until 2022.
Dang, and we just entered 2020.
Exactly. The future exhibit will be displayed in the High Museum of Art for about 2 months, from January 13th to March 13th.
That's something to look forward to. Well, that's our show.
Make sure you stay connected to Panther Report News throughout the week, and be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at GSU PRN.
Also, subscribe down below and let us know what you think about the show.
I'm Keelan Berrien.
And I'm Maya Grant. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.